I always say, make it so easy for people to give you money. If you are really showing up as yourself, you will make money. Trying to be happy and be happy all the time is a losing game.
Has there ever been a point in time where you've lost trust? And what does that kind of content look like?
Yeah, I think.
So the next strategy we have, which, I mean, we kind of talked on this one, but it's about building trust with your followers before you get the sale. And, you know, what can these small businesses do to build trust with their followers? And what strategies do you have to kind of help these brands build trust with people that to follow?
Let me add to that. You've done quite a bit of this. You've done quite a bit of this. Has there ever been a point in time where the opposite has happened as well, where you've lost trust? And what does that kind of content look like?
Yeah, I think so. Again, we talk about the wound versus the scar. So like, there's definitely, obviously, if you own a business, you're going to have things happen. Somebody told me that when I first started in 2018, and I thought he was like the most negative man on earth. And I was like, I'm going to be great. Everything's going to be great. I'm going to have the best life. And he was right. Everything he said ended up happening. And so I think like, I don't know that I've ever done anything like I'm extremely ethical, honestly, to a point. Like it interferes with my income sometimes because I'm like, I won't take that deal, or I'm not going to hang out with those people, or I'm not going to do that. And I've had to work on being like, it's just business. You can just go to a lunch. Like, it's not that serious. But I would say I've had people leave my brand and take all of my business, or like, I'm an inventor, I'm a chemist, I invent things, right? I've had people that know my formulations and have like released things, or have like proprietary ingredients. And I would say, you know, I studied from Sarah Blakely, who, if you don't know, she's the founder of Spanx. She became a billionaire for her invention. She's now knocked off by Skims, basically, and she has a patent to this. And she once said, she was like, me letting people copy me, it never impacted me. It never impacted me becoming a billionaire. If anything, it just helped me stay ahead of the market. And like, you have to turn away from the competition. And I think that's what you talked about in your industry. Everybody is so saturated. It's who cares? If you are really showing up as yourself, you will make money. I promise you. And for some people, that's going to be a little quieter. For some people, it might be a little more outlandish. Some people, I'm like, if you're a comedian, be a comedian. If you're not a comedian, don't try to be a comedian, you know? So I don't have a personal story of anything going really, really bad, but I've definitely been betrayed. I've definitely lost a lot of money. And I think like the hardest thing is going to work the day after you got absolutely screwed over. And it does get easier. I hate to say that. I'm sure you guys, like, I can handle things today that I would have cried myself to sleep 5 years ago. We're just kind of sad and beautiful at the same time. So if you're in your first 5 years of business, like, just keep going, I would say. And hard things do happen, much like life. Like, yeah.
Wow, the psychologist in you came out. Even I'm quiet. I'm going backward, just like, okay, blackmail, this.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know anybody in business who hasn't had a punch in the mouth, you know, at least once.
Yeah. And I think to some extent, like, if you're being ethical, if you're being moral, and you know, to some extent, like, obviously Mark and I tell our story, but the entire story is not told because some wounds are still a little fresh, you know, and it does like hurt sometimes to kind of go back and think like, wow, we considered, you know, let's say closing down MakerFlo not 12 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, that wound is like, we're not ready to talk about it right now, but you know, there will be a time maybe later this year that we open up about that and go like, okay, well, this is what happened. And that was definitely in the talks. Like, it's too much, you know, but anyways, but I think it also, at that point, we were also to a point where we were planning to make whatever content that was not going to work for our business. And it could have gotten us in trouble when in reverse, but we really had to psychologically, you know, fight a lot of wars on you fight. There's so many wars you're fighting at any given point, you know, but you got to stay true to your brand, stay true to your strategy, stay true to your content, be authentic. And like I said, you don't have to be 110% vulnerable, but a little bit does, you know, it's not a bad thing. And I think to a point, it was helpful to us too.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, just talking about it a little bit, it was helpful. So, but anyways, yeah, I sobered up here a little bit.
Sorry.
you hit some nerves there.
Well, nobody ever talks about it. That's what I was saying. In business, you can be vulnerable. And it's one of the things that I've noticed that so much is like if you think about who you like the most online, they're probably very authentic. And becoming a content creator, like even talking about my personal life, I have to stop and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say that out loud. And you do realize like how brave it is for these people to be so out there as business owners to be like, this is what happened and this is what happened. And this is, but I think more people need to be authentic about how much it sucks sometimes, because imagine if we all knew that business was not Lamborghinis and models and fast planes, private jets, like imagine if we were like, hey, there's going to be one day a year where you really lose it and think about quitting. And I don't think being a successful business owner is matters if you feel like quitting sometimes. I think that's normal. And if more people be like, sometimes I think about quitting, just trying to be happy and be happy all the time is a losing game. Yeah. It's okay to wake up and be like, I'm actually very unhappy today in business, in my life, in whatever. And then guess what? Usually a few days later it passes and you're like, oh, okay. And maybe more so for women than men, but I still know male entrepreneurs, you just have a bad day, right? We all have bad days. So that doesn't mean you need to close the business or quit.
I think you're taking this pod in another podcast that we might have to do separately about psychology.
Where we all cry and hold each other with entrepreneur trauma.
You never know.
Fireside.
It wouldn't be such a bad idea to have a cry. So, but yeah, I mean, you're hitting things that Mark and I mean, I'm really blessed to have Mark as a business partner. I think a lot of people don't have that. Like a second person. And 100%. You might think it might be your partner in life, but sometimes, like Mark and I will go after work and we'll stay out till, 8, 9, 10 p.m. And it's just sometimes we don't even talk.
Yep.
Sometimes it might just be like we don't want to talk to anybody else either. But we know that if we're together, we're not going to talk and we're just going to be quiet for 2 hours. And I don't want to talk about anything,
Yes.
And so last night, to some extent, it was like that, we went out and I think we barely spoke for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just you're fighting so many wars. You're discussing so many things with so many people, whether it's overseas, VAs, team members, this. There's 17 wars you're fighting at the same time. And sometimes your brain just can't take it anymore. You're just
everybody's just
I just want quietness. Yeah. I don't want to think about anything,
Yeah.
It's a lot because like you said, you got to come back tomorrow.
Yep.
And you got to come back at 100% your game, because if you don't, you're going to snap at somebody. If you don't, you're going to do something wrong. You're going to end up being inauthentic and it's going to lead to bad decisions. So kind of going back to the content, it works very similarly. With that, and you can screw that up. So
we're all lucky to have partners too. I feel like that's a later stage of business for a lot of people, or if they have a partner in their first business. You guys got very lucky with each other. A lot of times that doesn't work out. It's very rare that partnerships, and I had a partner too. And I always think now I'm like, it'd be really hard to do something alone after experiencing how much easier it is having help.
Yeah.
Because you should have opposite strengths with anybody you go in business with. But
Well, we'll have you. Well, you know what? You're
going to come to Bali? Heck
but you gotta
on
have
the beach.
But you gotta done.
It'll be sick.
But I don't know how we're gonna do this. We'll have to fly Danny and Sam out to Bali. Are you guys down?
We'll make it work. Yeah. He's a videographer too, so we'll have a whole.
Now
you guys, it's a write-off. It's a write-off, guys.
Yeah. Now everyone's on board for whatever.
Yeah. Now we're gonna teach people the psychology of surviving entrepreneurship. Yeah. Now you have money. Now there's a whole other side of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Build a course around that one.
Yeah. Literally, I always say that. I'm like, you think there's two kinds of hell: the one where you can't pay your rent, and the one where you have so much money you don't even have time to spend it. You don't even have time to go to the doctor. You're so busy that you're like, if my phone rings one more time, and everybody's taking bites out of you. So it's it's all, but what's the saying? It's better to cry in a Mercedes than in a bus or whatever the saying is.
I'm not sure, but we need to get back to social media now.
It's better to cry in a Lamborghini than a bus.
We find out all three of us are up here crying. Well, cool. As we get to the bottom of this, at the end of the day, right? This whole social media thing, what we have to remember, and Mark and I talk about this oftentimes because we have such long tail strategies, right? Is that we have to convert attention, discoverability, whatever you're doing out there, comedy, right? Even for Matt Rife or any other comedian that you might like, he's posting on there not to well, yes, he's posting on there to make you laugh, but he's posting on there to sell tickets.
Yep.
We have to turn these things
into
sales. So in your experience, what has helped you? Because I'm sure you were making content. What's 2 or 3 things you might have for advice for conversion on social media?
Yeah.
Whether it's getting leads on a telephone, sending them to your website, or using the channel as a sales channel.
I think the best business to own is one that people ask you for, right? Like you don't have to sell something if people already need and want it. So in this world, even in the creative world, right? We've talked about like seasonal things and just really being on top of your personal market, like figure out what people want, give them and I'm like, I always say, make it so easy for people to give you money. People have the craziest conversion. I'm like, here you are, here's the link, here's your thing, like remove all barriers to someone handing you $1. I think that's people get way too intricate with their websites. They get way too intricate with everything. They want to be everything to everybody, which I kind of am, right? On different platforms. I'm not trying to be everything to everyone here, So the biggest thing is like getting ahead of the market. What do people want? It's really that simple. What do people want to buy? Do that and then be like, here's the thing you want. Because if I'm wandering around and I'm like, it's a perfect example. I have a brow gel company, or one of my top sellers is a brow gel. If I wander around, I'm like, here, this is the best brow gel you'll ever use. Truly, way less people buy it. But when I started wholesaling, it just went crazy because people are like, oh my God, have you tried this brow gel? Oh my God, have you tried this brow gel? And so I private label and people will come to me and they want to put their own logo on it. And I'm like, I don't care if you put your logo or mine, same price. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to sell a lot more with my logo than yours, unless you're Sephora. And so it's this weird thing I've learned in private labeling that like they do better when you just are selling a brand rather than selling yourself, right? Like something with your own logo is not even going to do as well as selling MakerFlo, right? So that's where you're like your design and your unique view on the world, like make it obvious. So
it goes back to that thing where
authenticity. Yeah, literally.
Find your audience, herd your audience, and then support that audience with content, product, or what have you, and they will become loyal to you, right? Awesome. Yeah. I think as you guys can see, the theme is the same. So I wanna close this out with doing something fun that we've never done before.
Love that.
Okay. Awesome. I'm gonna have you close your eyes.
Okay.
We're gonna turn all the lights off and leave. No. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to we'll do a little bit of an imagination here. So I want you to imagine that you just bought your first laser machine and now you can do a lot of laser engraving and it's you. So it's Brit. And Brit already has a warehouse. So she's like, okay, I just bought my laser machine and you're kind of unboxing it. You're opening, you're super excited. You want to turn it into a profitable business, right? So I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions here. And I want you to just off the top of your head, you're excited, you're Brit, you want to do this on social media. You might want to do it on the website, whatever. But at the end of the day, you want to make money and you want to either pay your bills and more and go on more vacation or make this your full-time thing. Okay. So you kind of have the context.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to ask you like 4 quick questions. I want you to just don't think about it.
Okay.
All right. Best platform to start in 2026 to sell?
I'm going to say YouTube.
Ooh, I was not expecting that. I was expecting TikTok. YouTube what?
Can I open my eyes? I would say YouTube because in this case, like how cool to see the behind the scenes of engraving things. And that content will become a short, it will become a TikTok. You'll still be on all the platforms. But I'm over here like, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see someone do engraving.
So what you're saying is do long form content on YouTube, almost use Descript and post everywhere else.
Yeah, because then they just film throughout the week, everything they're doing and whatever. And that week of content, that one long video, it's going to be all of your shorts too.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
It's the first thing it came.
That's why we're doing this. See?
Or, go live on TikTok 45, 60
your eyes weren't close.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay, yeah, I like the YouTube. I think YouTube. Because you could really let people know who you are. It's also easy because people are there to listen and learn. It's not, you don't have to do like the dopamine game where you're like, bang, 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 bang. You just be like, hi guys, good morning. Let's engrave this thing.
I just wasn't expecting that from you.
I wasn't either, actually.
Because
guess I should get on YouTube.
We gotta do the closed eye thing every time.
We gotta do it every time now. The real authentic answer.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get back to you closing your eyes. Okay. So now you're Brit Shane in your warehouse opening the thing. You know you're gonna go on YouTube. Okay. How many posts per week?
5.
So okay.
On YouTube?
Well, now you're on YouTube. So how would you play that
5 short form to your YouTube shorts.
So if you're doing one YouTube, you
take your one long YouTube of the behind the scenes of building an engraving business or how your engraving business, how to engrave, whatever your thing is. And then if the video's filmed this way, you just can cut it. If it's high enough quality, if you have the camera I'm talking about, right? If you use your phone, I guess you could do the same thing. And then that becomes 5 shorts, like the best little clips from that. You could just clip it pending it was long enough. Obviously, you probably have some filler content.
So one long form a week, cut that down to
one
5
long form a
shorts.
week. Like Fridays, you post to YouTube every Friday. Your whatever your thing is, and then I would repurpose that content over to TikTok. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Cool.
could even go live while you're filming. You could go live on TikTok while you're filming the YouTube.
So have 2 different cameras, basically.
Right.
You can have your DJI or your
Yep.
X whatever, and have your phone and go live.
Yep.
So
And
basically,
then
it takes
you
a
go
chance to leverage content as much as possible.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Are you gonna close your eyes?
Yeah, I
again?
just did.
Are you
I'm ready.
enjoying
I'm
this?
locked in. I am.
You're
I'm
locked
mad
in?
I said YouTube now because I know less about YouTube than all the other ones.
But that's why I was surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt right.
Yeah. When you open this with your knowledge of everything, tell me what mistake you wouldn't repeat in this business.
I think I would start by serving a specific market. So if I'm a mom, I might do customized things for people. Like, I don't know that market, but I would do it for all of my friends' kids, like things that have their kids' names on it. Things with animals do really well. Like, people go crazy for that. In my world, I would probably do business owners. I'd be like, do you need custom merchandise for your brand? Because everyone who follows me is business owner. So it's like, I think your avatar of who you are. I am the age I could be in the PTA, but I don't know many moms, so I wouldn't choose that avatar.
Yeah.
So I would immediately serve a market. And then if you will figure out like which items you really like, which items do the best, and then you could go all in on that. So like I use tumblers because you guys do tumblers. If you start doing really amazing at tumblers, you can serve all of the markets for just tumblers. But I think at the beginning, serving a specific type of person will make your content easier, I think.
Cool.
Like I would do business owners. Maybe they should do moms.
Yeah, the wheels are turning, right?
Yeah.
See, you're enjoying this. I'm not even saying to close her eyes. She's like ready.
I can tell you're ready for me.
All right. So, being Brit Shane, you've been in this quite some time as a new business, starting in a completely new market and things like that. Follower count you're going to target to reach.
Oh, what am I going to try to get to?
What follower count would you target to reach?
I think you could stay at 10,000 and make a lot of money on all the platforms. I think it's enough social proof that people are like, oh yeah, they know what they're doing. I think 10,000 is pretty easy. If you post it every single day, I think that's fairly easy to do.
And how long, when you say every single day, how long would you say you'd go for? Like a month, 2 months, 3 months?
To get to 10K?
Yeah.
I mean, if you posted every single day for a year, I think you'd get close in most cases.
And if you did pay for engagement, it would happen
2
much faster?
A month, 1, 2, like 8 days. I don't know how many, 8 days.
How much did you guys, what was the budget?
$200 or $400
a day?
How much money did we spend to get to 10K?
186.
How long?
That was 9 days.
Per day?
Oh no, altogether.
You spent $186 to get 10,000 subscribers?
Yeah.
But the strategy was so killer. It's like people came and they're like, I want to be here. And then mine is probably I've spent $200, got me about 2,000 followers. So I'm still growing mine. So it's not, we've calculated it that we could grow a page to $10,000 10,000 followers for about $1,000. That conversion we just talked about is like a dream page.
Yeah.
Like it converted so well. So now we're testing other kinds. But a personal branded page or a business page, I even would say business page, $800 maybe. But yeah. You guys are like, wait, I need this.
Yeah.
Well,
I
like,
see
oh,
your
shit.
both our faces.
Listen, we say in these podcasts all the time that a lot of we like to be authentic. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that, like, I'm going to say it over and over again. We don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
And we bring on speakers based on what you guys have done. But like, we don't talk strategy 24/7 or anything like that. So we learn on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
We're learning with you guys, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is that, like, I want to learn. I want you to come and completely stump me. I'm pretty sure I look like an idiot on camera,
No.
right? Because I'm like, what are you talking about, right? Like, this is insane. And so I have more questions, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't know email marketing. I am a writer, and I don't know how you've done what you did with email. Like, we all have our strength and the thing that worked. Also, that was an accident. This thing we found out about ads, he actually discovered it. And I'm like, dang, I've been working so hard. I could have just been doing promote this whole time. So it's a good time to have this talk because it is a new discovery.
Wow.
That ads help a lot.
Well, maybe what we could do is we could talk after the pod, and maybe we could see how we could work together. And if it's something that works, we can have you on from Bali, and you can explain what you've done, or folks can reach out to you guys and see if it's a service you guys offer that that you can help people grow their social accounts. But,
we do.
Yeah,
we do that.
And that's something. So maybe let's get into that a little bit. So Brit, where can folks reach you and kind of talk about a little bit about what you do and how they can help you? Because we usually don't do this on a podcast, but I feel like this entire social sphere is changing once again. And you know, Brit and our company, they're talking to a lot of people, which you guys might not have time to do. You know, they're really in it. And if somebody wants to reach you, tell us in our industry, like a couple of services you guys do that can help them and how they can reach you.
So I'm a social media strategist. So a lot of people, what they hire me for is not necessarily to manage the page, although that's something that's possible. It's just to be like, this is what you need to post, and then help them get their first 30 days under their belt. So if somebody comes to me, right, sometimes they don't even have a logo, right? They're fairly new. I'm like, this is what you need. You know, we talked about a 6-figure strategy. There's 7-figure strategies, right? So just being like, just simplifying the process. So helping people strategize, this is what you need to be posting. This is where you're going to see the most conversions. That is a big chunk of it, because if you know what to post, it kind of makes it a little easier for people to reach. And then also just like in general, help with TikTok shop management. Like I'm getting more into that side of the world. But the thing I do the best is people have product companies and they need content for their pages. That's what people hire me for. It's like, they're like, how do I sell this shoe? And I'm like, send me the shoe. I'll sell the shoe, you know? So you obviously would need more than just me, because it'd be my face. Right. So you want many creators, but yeah, this world is really cool and really fun. And so,
well, maybe something, now that you were talking about it, maybe something we can also do is work with Brit to see how she can be resourceful to you guys through MakerFlo as a resource. Maybe that's something that, you know, we can talk to Brit and she could do it from a beach, and you know, and we can have it as a resource for all the makers out there. And you can kind of follow Brit and we can see if we can really help scale, you know, makers out there on social media and how that kind of turns out. So maybe we could do something like that. So yeah. I think that could definitely see that as a resource. But before we do all that, we're going to make sure that it works. So we're going to try it for you and screw up if it's screwed.
Let's go. I don't even know how many you have. How many do you have?
We have a lot.
On TikTok?
Not 84,000, but we're getting there.
On TikTok?
Yeah, but we have a lot of wholesale businesses, so we don't go after any followers. One of our first businesses that Mark and I did, we paid for followers. Yeah. And we've already gone through that too.
I have too. Yeah, I've done that before.
We got to 25, 30, 40,000 followers on Instagram. We've done that before. I think in a week or something. Yeah. But you know, they were all from China.
I've made that mistake. I've done done that one.
Yeah. So your thing in 10,000 in a week, like
it's just regular advertising.
I have questions. I got questions, you know, but this is the whole thing, right? Yeah. Like you're a leader in this. We're in another industry, but we get together and we figure something out. And if it's a strategy that works, this is the whole point of the podcast, is to help the makers that are watching, you know, to grow their business. And that's essentially why we're here. So we'll try to make something of it and see what we can do.
Cool. I mean, and the whole point, you just said it, the whole point of becoming an entrepreneur is to help people, for me, right? Because like money is cool. Freedom's the coolest part. Being able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and not ever think about swiping your card, right? Which takes some time to get to. But at the end of the day, like bring it back to like, who are you helping? Who are you serving? Yeah. Because it's like, there's so much going on. We get so obsessed with every day, but it's like, serve a bigger purpose, serve a bigger industry, serve a bigger market, make enough money so that you can give back, right? Like, I think that's a big mistake people see. Like, you should be charging 5 times what you paid for something, sometimes way more than that. Yeah. You guys know, having the warehouses and stuff, imagine you are undercharging. Yeah. You're struggling. Yeah. Your business blows up. It's actually a really hard time if you don't charge enough. And if I don't know if you guys literally no, I've been there too. I'm like, why don't I have any money? Yeah. I'm like, I've made this much money every month. Where's the money? It's like, you didn't charge enough. So at the end of the day, like I always like to bring it back. Like, I'm just help as many people as you can. And even if it's not through your actual business, if you have money, you can help the world. So I come back to that. So that's a little high level, but it's not that serious.
I love that. What's the ultimate purpose? Yeah, for sure.
Enjoy your life.
Great.
I know you don't like the word crafts, but creativity. Yeah. You know, we're all creative.
Like the word crafts. That's
you do not. You do.
we don't dislike it. It's just that we because of MakerFlo, it was MakerFlo crafts. But unfortunately, I mean, the reason we dropped the crafts, now it's just coming up randomly in this, but well, it's not. I guess it's not random because social media wise, it does play an effect. But unfortunately, this is why SEO is so important. Is crafts is so dominated by Michaels that the connotation of crafts that it's cheap products.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what happened was, like, when we got on a few calls, it was weird. Within like a day, of somebody was like, oh yeah, we were gonna order from you, but like you guys are like craft quality, and I'm like, what is craft quality? We never thought about that. And then when we got into it, we're like, oh my gosh, crafts is like associated with cheaper junk product, and we're like, well, we had no clue. So that was actually one of our first tipping points for removing crafts. That's why we moved it. So
luxury craft supply.
Okay. Luxury craft.
You should have been part of the branding team.
There you go.
That's Donald Miller. If you want to read a book, I forget what what's his book by Donald Miller. He has a famous book. I can't even think of it right now on the spot, but he says, he's like, your tagline should be like the shortest. He's like, I can raise someone's income by $10 million a year by just being like, we sell X, you know what I mean? So that's what it made me think about. Like, yeah. So
awesome.
Cool. Well, let's end it with this. I have one last question. With all your experience and starting companies, with everything you've been through along your journey, if you were to look back and if you were to start a brand today, what's one thing that, looking back on all your experience, that you would do differently from ground zero of starting a new company today?
Two very big things. One, I would learn about money right away. Taxes, saving, planning, because it doesn't matter until it really matters. And that was really far into my career when I finally learned about how to manage money, and I had to clean up a lot and still work through some stuff because of being a dumb business owner at the beginning. So that's one, just like objectively, you need to make a lot of money and you need to know what to do with it.
Know your numbers,
you need to spend enough of it, not to pay crazy amount of taxes, but keep enough of it for rainy days. And that balance has taken me. So that's not something any of us should be doing. That's a CPA or an accountant's job. And then just simply I quit hiring people that were like me. For the first 4 years of my business, I would say I would hire Britneys, people I would want to go to lunch with. Great in theory, terrible in execution. So you should know, I'm a big believer. Like, I know everything I'm terrible at.
Yeah.
I know, and it's a little bit negative and critical, but I'm like, I'm terrible at that. And I know that I need help in that arena. So if you hate being on camera, right, get help with that. If you are terrible at answering your phone and DMs, that's going to hurt your pocketbook. Like, get somebody to handle that. So hire your opposites and know what you're bad at and immediately outsource it when you have enough money to do so.
I love it. Delegate.
Yeah.
Delegate to win. Yeah. You didn't share where people can find you at. Share where everyone can find you.
I think email is probably best. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Or you could do Instagram at Brit, BRIT_Shane, SHANE, or hello@BritShane.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let her know MakerFlo sent you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, no affiliate, but she doesn't. Just so in case she doesn't get random messages, she's like, "Where are these people coming?"
I'll have them bully you. No, just kidding.
Well, awesome, everybody. Thank you for joining this episode of the MakerFlo podcast. John and Mark, you can follow us on Instagram as well. It's just John and Mark, all spelled out. And be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this post. If you have any feedback, we'd love to see it. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.